Your customers might find your product less impressive than it really is. Not because the product is bad, but because the images you're using are just confusing them. Images don't create positioning, but they do shape how fast customers understand and trust your product. They are shortcuts to clarity. And when you get them wrong, you create confusion. Or even worse, you leave the door open for competitors to define the story for you. Until now, fixing that meant expensive photo shoots or generic stock photos. But with Nano Banana, that has changed. In this video, I will show you 6 smart ways to use Nano Banana to differentiate and make your product stand out, including one strategy I haven't seen anyone sharing yet. So yeah, stick with me. The thing is that AI has made creating images easier than ever. You can become a Photoshop hero in just a few prompts, but today I'm not here to talk about the tricks on how to use it. I'm here to talk about strategy and how can you use Nano Banana as a leverage for differentiation. And in case you're wondering, of course, Nano Banana still has a lot of limitations, but given the pace of the AI evolution, they should be gone in a few months. And the thing is that if you don't start using it right now, maybe it's going to be the case for you too. Right, so if images are so good and so important for product positioning, the question really becomes how can we make AI to work for us instead of against us, right? And that's where Nano Banana comes in. In every industrial revolution, or actually technological revolution, we have players who join early and the ones who join just very later on. While you can achieve success in any stage, the ones who join earlier, they usually have a good head start. We can talk about Amazon, for example, selling books very early in the internet times and internet era. They consolidated and they became what they are today. We can talk about Facebook when they started in the social media era. They were a side project from a university student that really became something, right? And while in tech, these are all valid examples, this is also true for traditional businesses. We can talk about Starbucks, which was a coffee place, and they invested very early in loyalty apps and free internet and these kind of things. We can talk about Zappos, who were one of the first ones to join the e-commerce conversation within the shoe space. These are all big brands now, but back then they were much, much smaller. And the thing that I'm trying to say here is that we are living in an inflection point where you as an SMB have the opportunity to invest in these early technologies to gain competitive edge and to differentiate yourself from your competitors. The first step, of course, is to understand how you want to position your product. If you know that, let's just keep moving. Otherwise, make sure to watch this other video first, where I talk about the STP framework that helps you to understand who you want to sell for, what are the main benefits of your product, and so on and so forth. But let's assume that you already have done that, and let's jump to the next step. All right, so being Nano Banana a image model, there are 2 main angles you can use it to position better. The first angle is the one that most of the people are using it for. It's for marketing collateral. There's a lot you can do, actually, much more than just create random images. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But there is also angle number 2, and this is the secret sauce. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes as well. But the good news is that you are still early in both cases. Either angle that you choose, you're going to stay ahead of your competitor. So let's start talking about landing pages. Landing pages are designed to be persona specific. But in real world, a lot of companies, they just reuse photos across different landing pages. They change the text and they don't really, change the meaning of the pictures and of the images within each different landing page. So let's use a simple example here. Let's go and see how it works. So let's say you sell productivity software for service providers. You serve accountants, lawyers, dentists. They're all very different personas. And in your landing page, you have one model smiling and happy and inviting people to your app. But what you really want to do here, you want to replicate this image and you want to create different landing pages targeting these different personas. Let's see how to do that using Nano Banana. Here I took an example from the internet. This is just a stock photo. I uploaded the photo. I came to create image. And now let's start working with this image. So first thing, we're going to remove the background. And now we can start working with this picture. Yes, we got a picture. This is what we're going to use in our landing page. Make this character look like a lawyer. Nice, right? So you got a lawyer here, which is excellent. But you want also to create a different variation of this character and now to look like a dentist. So let's do that. Change the character to look like a dentist. Change its angle by 20%. Let's see what's gonna happen. All right, so now we have a dentist. It looks more like a doctor, but you got the point. And this is amazing. So let's see the final prompt. Now change the character to look like an accountant. Make it wave to the camera. Oh, and that's amazing. So in a few minutes, instead of one image, you have three. You removed the background, you created three variations that you can now upload to your persona specific landing page and keep working. You can also keep this going by doing the same for other elements on your landing page, like icons, for example. You can create different icons or icon sets for your different landing pages. This not only saves you money, but it also increases customer empathy, your ability to scale, and it can definitely affect your conversion rates. Another way you can use Nano Banana for marketing collateral is using it for ads. You can gain consistency at scale. You already have segmented landing pages. Now you can segment your ads for all the different types of people that you serve. And at the same time, you can create one campaign that uses one type of picture on LinkedIn and a different variation of the same picture on Instagram. And this is still the same model, this is still the same scenario, but you just created different variations that are platform specific. Let's see how you do that. Let's say you have a breakfast restaurant for students, and students are everywhere, and you want to advertise different dishes in different platforms. So here I will add my base ad. This is an example I got from the internet, and I will also add these pancakes. This is from the internet, but let's say it's my personal and proprietary picture. Now I will say switch the dishes images for the pancake stack. Whoa, it looks good, right? It removed all the background image and just added the pancake. So now let's say you want to create a different variation of this ad. So change the pancakes for an image of bagels. Wow, looks amazing, right? Now last thing, let's say change the bagels for a breakfast burrito with guacamole on the side. So now, as you can see, I have three variations of the same ad. You could argue that this is the worst one, I understand. And I could actually ask it to just create a different variation. Change the burrito for a default pancake stack with maple syrup on the side. And there you go. So now again, you have these three different ads. They all follow the same structure. They help you reinforce your positioning, strengthen your brand, and become more relevant because you are creating ads that are relevant to the target audience of that specific platform. This will definitely lead to higher click-through rates and eventually more revenue for you without any extra cost and in just a few minutes. All right, so now you have landing pages, you have ads, but you don't really know what works best, right? And that's where you can also use Nano Banana for rapid and very effective A/B testing. You can create multiple variations of the same images and test how they perform on your landing page, or even on your ads, or on your emails, and everywhere actually. So you can build that emotional connection with your users using a tool like Nano Banana. Easy peasy. Let's see how you do that. All right, so imagine that you are the owner of this aggregator here, and that this is your landing page. You have a people first image on the right hand side, from which I can infer that you target people looking for tourism of adventure. Now, it looks inspirational, and maybe this is exactly how this company wants to position. But let's say you want to test something more value-oriented. So let's move to Gemini here. I will upload this screenshot with just the image that we want to change. So now I will write my prompt here. I already selected the create image to use the Nano Banana model, and my prompt reads like this. Make the traveler face the camera. He should be smiling and looking at his iPhone. From the iPhone, three translucent chips should be projected, saying flights, hotel, and car. And each chip should have a small green check mark to sound like if we have solved everything for him. Keep the existing blue, pink, and violet abstract map. I prepared a slightly more challenging prompt just because I wanted to show how specific you can be. And bam, we have our alternative hero image to test right away. Changes are very small, but it did everything we wanted, right? And the impact is so obvious. You can do that over and over again, define a specific metric and improve to that metric. So you increase conversions, you increase trust, you increase a lot of things. And these A/B testing opportunities are limitless. Cool, right? So number four, the fourth way you can use Nano Banana to position your product better. You can use it to showcase your value proposition. For example, you can build multiple images explaining before and after scenarios, showcasing how your product will change the lives of your customers. And again, you can use those for testing, for ads. So it's all connected, right? Let's see how you do that. Right, so now you offer some kind of productivity service. Your main value proposition is to help your target audience get stress-free. This is the image you've used to showcase the current state of your target audience. You've used this in ads and so on. We can transform this into an after scenario very easily. So now we are going to Gemini, we take our image and we upload it. We also select create images, and now for the prompt, I want to say something like change this person's environment to a cafe where he only has his laptop in front of him, a cup of ice latte, and is wearing headphones. He looks calm and concentrated. And there we have it. So this is the same person. And now he's in a cafe place, he's calm, he's looking at his computer. So instead of the whole deadlines, emails, and meetings, now this is your after scenario. The thing is that you could use different environments depending on how you want to position your product. You could go from stress to more free time, for example, making the model at home with his kids, or maybe in a bar with friends. So this is completely up to you. And the results can really, really impact. So you can have higher conversion because people understand their value proposition better. You can increase cart size depending on the type of product you sell. You may even increase retention rates, because if people, whenever they sign up to your product, they really understand what's the value proposition, they are more likely to stay. So these are all great ideas that you can use and that you can explore to position your product better and explain better to your customers what your product does and to whom and why they should pick you. And now the last one about marketing collaterals, you can use it for personalization. You can personalize moments, images that match the moment where you want to use it. For example, your sales team can personalize an email that they're sending for cold outreach that will not look so cold anymore. Can you imagine how much revenue can you get from more meetings, from more yeses, from more opportunities, right? Let's see how you can do that. All right, so just stay on the same chat as before, and now let's personalize this image so I can send it with my email outreach. So first, let's ask Nano Banana to make the model look at the camera, and also switch the glass for a mug, white mug. Cool, so now we have the model looking at the camera, we have a small mug. That's not exactly the kind of mug I wanted, but I think this is gonna work. Let's see, because now my goal is to add the logo, my client's logo to this mug, okay? So let's see how it's gonna look. I will add my own logo here, but you get the message. Add this logo to the mug. Or let's say apply this logo to the mug. Oh, that's cool. We can zoom in a little bit, but you can clearly see that there's Special Lab over there. You have the model looking at the camera, and we can then send this picture with our email outreach. This makes everything more personalized and can definitely influence your success rate. Aren't all these examples mind-blowing? I mean, you can literally illustrate who your product is for, what it does, and why your customer should pick you. It's really amazing. And by the way, if this video has been good for you so far, if you have learned anything, make sure to like it so more people will find it. Well, and now we are ready for the second opportunity, the one that most founders aren't using just yet. I'm talking about implementing Nano Banana within your product as a customer-facing feature or even as an internal feature that will help you and your team to be more productive. And the good news is that you are still super early for that. Almost no companies are using Nano Banana yet in their products, especially when we're talking about SMBs. But the thing is that this is where creativity enters the conversation. You and your team need to understand how you can use images as a differentiation strategy. You need to understand how can you improve the UX, or maybe you can handle some objections. This is for you and your team. This is not something I can help you with, but what I can help you with is by giving you some ideas. And let's go see some ideas. So now we are seeing Google's AI Studio. Here's where you get your API key and start bringing your creative ideas into life. Yes, you need to be slightly more technical to do it, but I don't think it's gonna last too long anyways. You can already build the entire prototypes here in just plain English. But the point is how you can use this for product positioning and differentiation. So I'm not gonna build anything today. I can prepare a tutorial if you guys want. Let me know in the comments, by the way. But I want to show you 3 examples from their feature page. All right, so the first one is this home canvas. In this example, you can upload a product and a scene, and then the AI will add the product to your scene. So let's select a sofa I found on the internet, also a living room as an example, and then the app allows me to choose where I want to put it. I want to place it here in the middle. So let's see how it's gonna go. Nice. And now you can have a clear idea of how this sofa will look at my house. Let's say you sell furniture or gardening services or roofs or cars, whatever. You can implement this to your website and make your customer's experience highly personal. Cool. So let's move to the next example that I have here. So this example is called Create Your Model for Any Look. This is a little bit different, but just as powerful. On this example, you can upload a picture and see how you would look with different outfits. So let's select fake me here. Now this is generating a new me. That's what they say. Drag this ladder to see my transformation. And then let's see. Okay, so this is the new me. It's not me, of course, but you can have an idea of what is this really about. So yeah, now the model got me or the fake me. Now I can proceed to styling. And if I understand this correct, you can upload different images of different, clothes and etc. Or you can just use this preloaded clothes. Right, and now I can see how I would look with this specific t-shirt. So now you can see how it works and you understand the logic here. And in e-commerce, for example, this can be a game changer. This can increase cart size and reduce returns and increase your revenue and your margins and so on. This is a very interesting example on how to implement and use Nano Banana within your website. So finally, let's go to the third example. This is more artistic. I found this quite interesting because you can actually add a address and get a watercolor version of that address. So let me see one example. I used to live in San Diego and I want to see how my building would look like in watercolor painting. Wow, that's nice. This is far from being my actual building, so this example is not really working very well, to be honest. But at the same time, the whole idea here can be extrapolated, and you can create internal systems that allow, that standardizes all your real estate photos, or even keep it customer facing and let customers print their own t-shirts or mugs, for example. This one has both the potential to bring you money and to save you money. This is also cool, right? And with the right positioning strategy in hands, you and your team are more than ready to think about ideas on how can you incorporate images to your users' UX. Then whenever you have these ideas, my suggestion is that you start small, test it, collect information about that, and then you can implement in the whole product. So if you do that systematically with not just Nano Banana, but all the technologies around AI that we have nowadays, you will start building your differentiation within your product. And in a few months or in a few years, you will be unbeatable. So make sure to start right now. And that was it. So if you like the content today, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Here I talk about AI and marketing and how you can use AI tools to strengthen your marketing strategy as an entrepreneur, as a founder, and as a marketer as well. So yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.